Welcome back to another episode of Ruthless TV, where I review Tyler Perry's The Oval scene by scene. Now, let's get into the video. The show opens with Kyle over here checking for DNA while Hunter is very much in touch with his 10-year-old self. He's over here telling Ellie, look what I did, look what I did. Like he's got an A on his report card. Donald tells Hunter that they should really be getting on their way to Andrews, but Hunter wants to see the drone pilot. He wants to talk to him, but they tell him that he's away in a bunker and, they can't get him, but he was like, oh, go get him. Doesn't matter. He wants to see him. Then Donald makes sure he goes over to Lily to let her know that her boyfriend is dead. Then Lily tells him that she thinks she's gonna be sick. And then Donald tells her, wait in the effing car. Then the president asks her, where are you going, Lily? And she said she's not feeling too well. And he goes, no, you have to stick around. You have to see this stuff. He wants everybody to see the body parts. Then when they're getting ready to go, the president tells Donald that he should ride in the decoy car so that he can ride in the same car as Ellie. But the president tells him, no, that's not a good idea. But then Kyle steps in and he agrees with the president. And Donald tells him to shut up. Shut up, Kyle. Donald then tries to warn them that because of the things that Diane told the press, that they will be waiting at Andrews once they arrive. But does Hunter listen? Nope. He doesn't listen. He still gets in the car and rides off with Ellie. Then he asks Kyle why Dale was at the White House. And then Dale told him, oh, we just wanted to have lunch. And then he said, well, why is he asking for the butler? And he said, oh, I just arranged a tour for him of the White House. So he's lying to him already about Dale, because the truth is Dale can't stand him anymore. So I guess he's just trying to make him jealous. Donald tells him that he better not ever see him there again. And they just kind of go back and forth in this jealous quarrel. Then he threatened to fire Kyle. Then in scene 2, we have the president riding in the motorcade with Ellie. And of course, he's telling her, I wonder what it's like to have sex in here. And Ellie was like, you won't find out with me. And he's like, well, why not? Nobody's going to see us if you stay low. But Hunter doesn't care. He doesn't really care if anyone sees them or not. And Ellie is telling him, you've killed 2 people with the drone and you should have a little bit more respect. And he goes on to tell her that bad people meet bad endings. So Ellie is snapping back. She's not giving in to the president like she usually does. And he tells her, if I wanted to ride with the witch, I would have invited my wife. Hunter tells her that riding in the motorcade and getting out for a while, he thought it was romantic. And Ellie says that he's a creep. He then tells her, you're effing the president of the United States of America. You'd better buckle up because it's a wild ride. Then before the scene ends, he said, are you sure you don't want to get naked? Then we'll move on to scene 3, Lily and Donald is asking her why she's there. And she's saying, well, I don't have to say anything. He's messing with her because he knows full well why she's there. Lily tells him that she wants to go home. And he says that the president's motorcade cannot make a detour. And he's telling her that, she's not properly dressed. And I know that she doesn't want to be seen in public like this. And I see nothing wrong with what she has on. I mean, she looks very casual to me. But of course, they have to find ways to insult each other. And so they just go back and forth. And then he tells her that once they get to Andrews, that they can take her home. Then in scene 4, we move to the farm with Blakely and Max. And Blakely's outside cooking on the grill, and he tells her, that she's been really quiet lately. And she says that she's been thinking. And she's saying that because the situation is so deep and so serious, that she's going to need some help. And she wants to talk to this guy named General Martin. And she wants to gather as much information as she can. But Max is just sitting there sipping on his beer like, oh yeah, okay, well, whatever. We're not here for that. We just kind of came here because we didn't have anywhere else to go. And Blakely wants to be more involved, more hands-on, and just kind of run the show, so to speak, when actually Max and Bobby just kind of need a place to hide out and they didn't have anywhere else to go, like he said. So then we move on to scene 5 with Dale, Richard, and Sharon on their way to the Rakadushi compound. And Richard is pretty much explaining to Dale, what's happening, what's going on, and why he's looking for Barry, his son. He's telling him how great of a dad that Barry is, and then he looks to Sharon to confirm and to agree with him, and Sharon was like, yeah, he's a great father. And Richard is not really too fond of her seeing Kareem and Barry at the same time. Dale tells them that they have about a mile to go before they turn off the road. And then he tries to advise them that they probably want to stop by the sheriff's office to let him know before they go up there because it could get really dangerous. Dale says that he's heard stories of people going missing and kids being trafficked. And Richard wants to know why people actually join groups like that. And he said, what happened to turning to God? And he's basically basically letting Sharon know that the generation before them actually let them down, and they didn't take them to church as much, didn't tell them about God. So he thinks that the generation before her has failed them. Then Dale chimes in. He goes, "Oh no, my parents taught me about God, and they told me that God hated me and that he was going to hell because he was gay." Then he also said that his parents wished that he were born sooner so that he would be killed by AIDS. And, that is the most troubling thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, that was really cruel. A very, very cruel thing to say. Then, Richard went to church on us. He said,
"Don't let hell, fire, or brimstone situations separate you from the love of God."
Amen, Richard. I couldn't agree more. And he just encouraged Dale to not really listen to what people had to say, but be more concerned about how God is looking at him. Then we move on to scene number 6, where we see Priscilla sitting outside of Nancy's house. And of course, we can't go to Nancy's house without getting past Miss Jody. And Miss Jody is on the phone with Nancy, telling her that Priscilla is sitting outside of her house in her car. Then when Priscilla gets out of the car, she's got to pass Miss Jody to get up the stairs. And Miss Jody is just taunting her, "Oh, how you doing? You're not looking too good. You all right?" She just would not let her get past her with it. She's got to say something. Then Miss Jody does what any other good neighbor would do. She offered them coffee, and then she said, "If you don't want coffee, I got some I got the Jack Daniel on deck too." So she's showing all kinds of hospitality to not even her guests, but her neighbor's guests. So Priscilla finally gets in, and she sits down and she starts to ask Nancy about, how things are going between her and Richard. And Nancy said, things are fair. And she's telling her that she's not the same little girl that she used to be. And she basically wants Richard to get over it. And, she's like, "Oh, it happened so long ago." But Nancy has to realize that it's been a long time for her, like over 20 years at this point. So it's definitely a long time for her to hold on to the secret. But she needs to know that it's very, very new and fresh for Richard. And you can't tell someone how to feel. You have to let him get through this in the best way that he knows how. So she really needs to give him that breathing room. Then once they get to Priscilla lets Nancy know that Sam is having an affair. And then, she's very shocked and surprised, as we all were. "Oh no, not Sam." That was her reaction. Then she's asking Priscilla if she knew who the woman was. And Priscilla told her, yeah, she knows who she is. But Priscilla didn't reveal that it was the First Lady. She told her that it was one of his agents. So I'm really, really disappointed with this conversation, because if you're going to tell the story, tell the whole story. Like, she's in that protective mode again, as if she has to protect Sam or the First Lady, or I guess she's maybe protecting the status that she has. I don't know, but at that point, it should matter. Then Nancy asks her how she knows that this is true, and Priscilla tells her that she saw the video that someone recorded at the White House. And then Priscilla revealed something that I didn't know. I don't know, maybe I missed it in a previous episode, but she said that she's in debt with her mom and that she couldn't quit her job, or that she didn't want to quit. So I guess that's why she's not quitting, because, she says that she really can't stand to be in the same room with her or watching her, and that it's so much going on over there. But she did say that there was one person that she wanted to turn to let them know what's going on. And here we have the General Martin reference yet again. She lets Nancy know that Sam really looks up to this guy. And then Nancy said, well, I know, because Richard also looks up to this guy. And she actually went to General Martin on one occasion, and it made Richard really upset, because she said that General Martin really looks to them as heroes. He looks to Richard and Sam as heroes, and they don't want him to look at them any less than that. So he got really upset that she went to him. But now Priscilla's saying that she wants to go to him and talk to him about her marital situation with Sam. Then Nancy goes on to tell her that this General Martin guy is very powerful, and that he could destroy them if he knew bad things about them. Then in scene 7, Lily finally makes it home, and then she calls Bobby right away. And she tells him that she thought he was dead, and that she went to the cabin, and that she did not want to lose him. She's telling Bobby that the president is over there gloating, taking selfies, and she wants to send him a picture of what she was witnessing. And Bobby was like, no, don't send the pictures. But she tried to send them anyway, and then the phones went dead. So we got Blakely coming through the door. I guess she's walking through the house, cutting phone lines and everything, like she's Jason from Friday the 13th. Cutting the phone lines, and she told Bobby to get rid of his phone. Then we see the First Lady entering into the room with Jason, and she's asking Jason, should you be talking to your therapist? And Jason was telling her, look, I'm just basically trying to get rid of her. I don't need to be talking to her right now, and take a look at what's on TV. So he's trying to get her to look at what's on the TV, and, of course, Hunter and Ellie are out there, in front of the press taking pictures and whatnot. And First Lady is a little confused because she's noticing that where they were, it wasn't on the schedule that she received. Then here's Jason stirring the pot. Well, look who he's with. She's right by his side. He likes younger women. She's going to be taking your place and all of this stuff. Then he goes on to say that she's being cheated on and walked over. Then she tries to send Jason to bed like he's 4 years old. But he tells her that he wants her to get ahead of the situation. And then he does go off to bed, and then he tells her that she's got hot breath. Then in scene 9, I guess Jason went straight to his room because now we see him on the phone with Alan, and he's asking Alan if he saw the news. And then he said, yes, I saw the news. And he goes, well, do you see your girlfriend with my dad? And he goes, well, I'm going to send you something. And Alan is like, I don't want you to send me anything, kid. Get off the line, go to bed. And he was like, I'm the first son and you're not allowed to hang up on me. And he was like, watch me. And he goes, well, do you want your job? So Jason is threatening Alan to not hang up on him or he's going to lose his job. But Alan hangs up on him anyway. And then he calls him a stupid MFer. Jason loves to stir the pot. He loves it. Then we move on to scene 10 where we see Sharon. She's a bit scared when they pull up to the gate. And then Richard tells her, just stay in the car. Just stay in the car. And the Rakadushi member that's at the gate this time is the same member who was in the cabin with Max and Bobby. And he tells Manny is the Rakadushi. He tells Manny that, he's Richard Halson and he's there looking for his son and he wants to see his grandbaby. And then he asks, is Ruth here? He's asking, is Ruth there like he's standing on the front porch of her house or something? Then Richard tries to walk past him and he said, wait a minute, do you know where you are? And then Richard said, yeah, I'm in America. Then Manny wants to know how he found out where they were. And then Richard is continuing on. He's like, I'm looking for Ruth. She took Callie and Barry has custody. And then Manny kept telling him, look, you need to leave. Then Richard is showing his hand again. He lets him know, I work for the White House. My son's godfather is Secret Service, and I'm going to come back with enforcement.
And I wear size 9 draws.
Richard is telling him everything. He's showing his entire hand, and that's not cool. But he did turn around and they left. Then Daikon comes out, and then Manny lets him know that the boy and the little girl that they have, that they need to let them go because they have White House ties and that they were coming back. But Daikon can't let that happen, so he ordered the goons to get in Scooby-Doo van and take off behind them. And the next time y'all look at the show and then there's a Ruthless scene, just check out the music. That music score is awesome. Then we move on to scene number 11, where we have the First Lady entering Alan's office, and she's looking for Donald. And of course, Donald is not there. He's on the motorcade and at Andrews with the president. And the First Lady is like, look, I need the route, the itinerary, the schedule. I need it all. I need you to give that to me. And Alan was like, you're not supposed to be in here. I can't let you see it because if I let you see it, I could lose my job. And First Lady was like, you're worried about your job. You need to be worried about your little girlfriend and why she's sleeping with my husband. And, Alan played dumb. He was like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. And First Lady said, you need to be grabbing her by her throat and threatening her life. Like, this woman is ruthless. I cannot do the First Lady. And she wants Alan to keep Ellie away from her husband. Then we move on to scene number 12. We see Bobby and Max dressed out in their checkerboard shirts. I guess Blakely found some more of her dead grandfather's clothes and let Bobby wear some too. Bobby let Max know that he talked to Lily on an unsecured line and it was no big deal, but Max doesn't really want him talking to her because he can't really trust her like that. He thinks that Lily could be tracking the phone, and he tells Bobby that he knows better, but Bobby says that they're smarter than them. Max lets him know that Blakely's plan is actually better than his, and he lets Bobby know that assassinating the president is their very last resort, and he wants to, try other means and measures before that happens. Then we move on to the final scene, scene number 13, and we see Richard telling Sharon and Dale to put their seatbelts on because the Rakadushi van was coming up really fast behind them. He tells them to hold on, and the Rakadushi van tapped the back of the car and ran them off the road, sending the truck flipping through the air. And the Rakadushi van just rode right on past them, left them for dead and kept it moving. And this concludes this 17th episode of The Oval, Season 2, Body Parts. Listen, you guys could have been doing so many other things. Just wanted to take a moment to let you know that I really, really appreciate you tuning into the videos, liking the videos, and subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much once again, and I'll see you on the next one.